Life is but a dream, they say, but how high will you fly? Hello, everyone, and welcome back to your. If you are in Module 4 right now, that means that we've already talked about our strengths and our talents, right? I'm not going to review it because I know that you guys already remember, right? 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 Oh man, someone said they forgot. How did you forget? Okay, let's go over it. Let's go over it. So, right here we have our talents, right? Remember, we're working as a team and everything is becoming about the task getting done, right? The task getting done. Now, we want to always focus on the task getting done, but we want to make sure that our team is happy, right? We want to make sure that everyone's doing what they want to do in the group. And that is always possible. You don't always have to have a terrible group like, oh, I'm always stuck doing all the work, or they're not letting me do something, they're not letting me do this, or they're not letting me do that, right? So we always want to make sure that everyone is enjoying their task in the group and they're able to do what they're good at too, right? People enjoy doing something that they're good at just because it makes them happy and it's their strength, right? So here we have talent and here we have strengths. Strengths is what makes you maybe even a good attribute towards your talent, right? We've already discussed that. So let's go on to Module 4's question. Module 4's question is focus on what you are good at in the group. Okay? So this goes to dividing out the tasks, right? So we already discussed in the last module that we're going to allow Alyssa to be the one who is writing everything down, right? The teacher gave us a task, and our task is we need to write 10 things down. And then we need to present those 10 things to the teacher. We need to do whatever we need to do to get the task done, right? So this means 10 things. Now, Alyssa's already agreed. You know what? I'm going to be the one to write down the 10 things. I'm very good at finishing tasks on time, and I'm good at time management, right? I'm good at deciding who does what and for how long. So let's say the teacher gives us 20 minutes. In those 20 minutes, Alyssa's already deciding how the work is going to be split up. Now, it's Toto's job to have an open ear and to listen. Okay? So we're focusing on, these are practical ways that we are focusing on what we are good at in the group. Right? And what is practical? Practical, what does it mean? Practical means you're actually doing it, right? It means we're actually doing it. We're actually going to do what our strengths allow us to do, right? So getting the task done. We have 10 things that we need to write. We need to do some research and we need to present it. Okay? So the task at hand is what? Writing the 10 things down and presenting it. That's the task because the teacher's going to collect the sheet. She's going to say, okay, everybody give me your sheets when you're finished, right? So we need to make sure we have everything written down. Now, Alyssa's going to be like, okay, we have 20 minutes. That means I have my time. I'm going to keep time, okay? At the 5-minute mark, we need to have our research done. 10-minute mark, we need to have our research done in 10 minutes. This is what Alyssa is saying. She says, we need to have our research done in 10 minutes. And Toto says, okay, cool. Now, Toto's happy and excited and fun. Her thing is just listen to what Alyssa's saying, right? Now, if she has some critiques or some things that she wants to say, she can say, actually, how about in the 10 minutes that we do this, how about you research 3 of the things and I research 3 of the things and we find 3 of the things and then we come back together. And then Alyssa says, okay, that's a good idea, Toto. But we have 10 things and you said only 6 things. So how about we split up the work? You look up 5 things and then I'll look up 5 things and we can come together and put our 5 things together. Right? So what is the job of Toto? Is to find 5 things. right? And the job of Alyssa is to find 5 things. So that way, in total, when they come together and they present it to the teacher, they have 10 things that they've gotten done, right? That makes sense. So we want to make sure the quality of work is there too, right? Now, it's not fair if Alyssa has done all this research and they put everything together and Toto's like, oh, I only finished 3 things, right? So this is the purpose of timekeeping, right? Alyssa's like, okay, I'm great at time managing, 10 minutes, we're going to check this. And the whole reason that Alyssa does this and takes this action is because if they have 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes. Toto never said her strength was time management, and she never said her strength was finishing a task, right? So maybe she knows Toto, like, okay, she gets so excited that she's looking at 3 things. So let's just check back in the next, 10 minutes. They do everything. Toto's like, oh man, I only was able to find 3 things. I wasn't able to find 5 things. And Alyssa comes back and she's like, oh, well, actually, I found 6 things, right? So now what Alyssa would do, instead of saying, Toto, you need to find your stuff. Ugh, I hate working with Toto. She's the worst person to work with in the whole wide world. Oh, she never finishes anything. Instead of her saying that, Alyssa can say, you know what? I found 6 things. So that means we have 6 things and you found 3 things, which means 6 plus 3 is what? 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that means we have 9 in total. Now we just need 1. Now, remember, Alyssa set a timer, which means they have 10 minutes on the task left. They only have 10 minutes, right? 10 minutes. So in the 10 minutes, Alyssa decides, you know what? I'm going to help Toto find the last one. Now, this is very important because we don't want Alyssa to feel like she's doing all of the work, right? We don't want Alyssa to feel like she's doing all the work, but also remember they're sharing because Toto has to be the one who presents it, right? So we haven't even gotten to the presentation part yet. So now Alyssa says, okay, I'm going to set my clock to 5 minutes, okay? 5 minutes. She knows that Toto is great at presenting. Toto can look at a paper and be like, okay, I'm going to present it. I'm ready. Let's go. Right? So she knows Toto doesn't need a lot of preparation time in order to present the project. Okay? So that's important in knowing. You need to focus on getting to know what you're good at in the group, but also what other people are good at in the group. You need to really know each other in order to work well. Because if you don't take the time out to know each other, this is where you start fighting each other. And this is where you start saying, I don't like working with blah, 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 blah. Because you guys haven't gotten to know each other. There are some people who are super happy and excited. Some people who are great at time management. And they still aren't fun to work with. Right? So you have to figure out who you're able to work with and who, even if you're not able to work with some people. Right? Do you think Miss Toto likes everyone that she works with? Do you think that? Nope, I don't. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I don't like working with everyone that I work with. But guess what? We always get the task done. Because it's not about how I like the other person or not. It's about getting the job done. Can we get the job done? And that's important. We're focusing on the job, right? So we're focusing less on how we feel about the person on the team and more about getting the task done. Now, if the person is not getting the task done and not doing what they're supposed to do, then that might be where you say to the person, hey, we have this goal that we need to meet, right? Or that might be where you might get your teacher involved and say, hey, I've tried everything, right? I've helped them, I've done this for them, and they still aren't doing it, right? That's the purpose of you having a teacher. Your teacher's going to help you to make sure that everything is okay. So don't worry about that part. Sometimes you're going to get groups that are not perfect, and that's okay. That's okay too. Sometimes you have to be good at your strengths, but also knowing your weaknesses, right? We haven't talked about that yet, but it's good to know your strengths, but it's also good to know what you're not good at. Because maybe you're always excited and happy, but maybe you don't have a lot of patience, meaning that you get really mad easy when someone doesn't do something right? And it's okay, and that's okay, and that's okay. But it's knowing that that's how you are. So there's a lot of work to do inside first in order to work outside. Okay? So let's go ahead and continue. So focusing on what you're good at in the group. Okay? What you're good at in the group will allow you to finish, right? So let's go back to the Alyssa and Toto story. So finally, Alyssa helped Toto. They have their 10 things down. The teacher shouts and said, okay, you guys have 3 minutes left. Okay? So now Alyssa goes and she's like, okay, all right, here you go, Toto. Here's the list. So Toto looks at the list and she says, all right. All right. Hello, everyone. This is my teammate, Alyssa, and my name is Toto. Today, we're going to be telling you guys about the top 10 animals in the forest. The first animal is blah, 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 right? Because she likes being excited, she likes having fun, right? And then she might say, Alyssa, what do you think about X, Y, and Z? Can you tell the rest of the class? Right? So this is something you always want to make sure that maybe this person is too shy, but you want to at least show that they get involved a little bit, right? So it matters about how you guys work together, and how you guys do that is completely up to you. All right, so that is the end of Module 4. I will see you in Module 5.
All in all, we don't just teach our students to fly, we empower them to soar. And with that being said, what are you waiting for?